Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something pretty significant, the US's newly announced Golden Dome missile defense system.
That's right. Big news.
Yeah, you shared some fascinating material. So our mission today is really to understand what this Golden Dome thing is all about, the ambition behind it, and, the initial buzz and reactions.
Exactly. We want to get past the headlines and sort of unpack the core concepts and what it might mean down the line.
Okay, so let's start there. At its heart, what is the Golden Dome? What are we talking about?
Well, fundamentally, it's envisioned as a multi-layered defense system. Think of it like layers of protection against incoming missile threats. Different layers for different stages.
Multi-layered. And what kinds of missile threats specifically? Sounds like they're aiming pretty broad.
They are. The idea is to counter, basically the full spectrum. You've got your ballistic missiles, the ones with predictable arcs.
Right.
Then hypersonic missiles, incredibly fast, maneuverable, very tricky. And also cruise missiles, which fly low.
So yeah, a very comprehensive shield then. This sounds like a massive, massive undertaking. One of the sources mentioned some pretty striking comparisons.
It did. President Trump signed it into action. And General Michael Gitlin, he's the Vice Chief of Space Operations, he actually likened the scale and the needed coordination to the Cold War efforts, even the Manhattan Project.
Wow. The Manhattan Project. That's a heavy comparison. It suggests this isn't just about one new weapon system.
Not at all. It's about a whole new level of integration. The emphasis is really on unprecedented collaboration, across all the defense and intelligence agencies. They have to work together seamlessly.
Okay, so if it's this integrated system, what are the key pieces? What are the actual components they're talking about building?
Right, so you've got a few main elements. First, space-based sensors. Imagine satellites constantly watching, detecting launches almost instantly. Global coverage.
Okay, eyes in the sky.
Exactly. Then you need the interceptors themselves, the things that actually take out the incoming missiles.
Makes sense.
And interestingly, they're also talking about advanced laser weapons. Potentially space-based lasers as part of the longer-term vision.
Lasers in space. Okay, that definitely grabs the attention. And the satellites aren't just spotting launches, are they?
No, they're critical throughout. They provide that crucial early warning, but also help guide the interceptors to the target. The goal is to get multiple shots, basically. Intercept them mid-flight if possible.
Multiple opportunities to stop a threat. Okay. So that's the ambition, the tech side. But something this big, it's bound to cause waves internationally. Your sources highlighted some strong reactions, particularly from Russia.
Yes, definitely. Maria Zakharova, the foreign ministry spokeswoman, she was quite direct. The main Russian concern seems to be that this Golden Dome system could seriously undermine the existing global nuclear balance.
How so? By neutralizing their deterrent?
Potentially, yeah. Or at least destabilizing the current deterrence framework. That's the worry. And it wasn't just about the nuclear balance. Well, there were accusations about the U.S. essentially militarizing space. That's a long-standing concern for many countries, not just Russia.
Right. The weaponization of space.
Exactly. And Zakharova also suggested this whole initiative could really hinder future arms control talks, make them much harder.
So some serious diplomatic and strategic pushback, which I guess leads us to the big unknown surrounding this whole thing. What are the immediate questions that jump out?
Well, the first one, honestly, is feasibility. Can they actually build this and make it work reliably across all those layers? It's incredibly complex.
And presumably incredibly expensive.
Oh, undoubtedly. The cost is going to be astronomical. That's another huge question mark. And then the big strategic one. What does this do to international security? Does it actually make the U.S. safer? Or does it just provoke adversaries and maybe spark a new kind of arms race?
Yeah, those are the multi-trillion-dollar questions, aren't they?
Okay, so let's try and sum this up. The Golden Dome, a hugely ambitious U.S. plan for a comprehensive, multi-layered missile defense. Right, targeting ballistic, hypersonic, and cruise missiles.
Compared in scope to massive historical projects requiring unprecedented interagency cooperation and involving tech like space sensors, interceptors, maybe even lasers.
Correct. But it's also drawing significant international criticism, especially from Russia, about potentially destabilizing global security and militarizing space.
Okay. So a final thought for everyone listening. Considering the sheer technical complexity, the likely cost, and these strong international reactions, what are the most critical factors that will ultimately decide if Golden Dome succeeds or fails? And maybe more importantly, regardless of whether it technically works, what could the long-term consequences be for global stability? Something to think about.
Definitely a lot to chew on there.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.